Hello, everybody. How are you? Continuing our series on baseball terms explained. This video is going to be about the phrase double play. Double play is when a team plays two games in one day. It's typically what they also sometimes call a double header. However, sometimes a double play is a result of some kind of clause or obscure rule that one team has pulled out in order to nullify an original game. So let's say two teams play beginning at 9 a.m. on Saturday. By the seventh inning, Team A is behind by 5 runs. They can nullify the game under certain conditions and force the game to be played over, at which point they would reconvene at 2:30, 2:45, right in there to play the game again. In a sense, they've played a double play and is registered as that in the record books. But that is usually, it's not very common, but you'll see it. Now, what are some of the reasons they could do that? Well, if they feel that their players were out too late at night, and then we're not fully rested for the game, they can nullify the game. If they feel like the other team was out late at night and forced their players to go with them out catting around in whatever town, they can nullify the game. Now, there's certain way you can't just say, "Oh, we're behind, therefore we want to start over," but if certain conditions exist, and if you call it at the right time, it has to be after a certain number of innings and before in other words, you can't do it in the third inning, fourth inning. It has to be after a certain amount of time. So they could say, well, the weather was not to our liking in this city, and it never is. They might come into Cleveland and say, hey, we never get good weather in Cleveland because there never is good weather in Cleveland. The sun doesn't come out in Cleveland, right? It doesn't, ever. And that's why when you go to Cleveland, the trees are short. The trees are relatively short there, like a redwood forest tree that would typically be 400 feet in the redwood forest of California, sequoia. There in Cleveland's about 13 feet. Okay, that's why you see a lot of people using sequoias as Christmas trees, because it's one of the tallest trees in the region, because the sun doesn't come out, it doesn't get enough sunshine, they don't grow. So that's why players can say, look, there's no sun, we're going to call the game because we're not getting a tan. We're from Florida, we have a tan. We come to Cleveland, we can't get a 10. There's no sun. We're calling the game. So if they do it after 7 innings, but before the 7.5 inning, there's all these obscure, vague guidelines that they can call the game, force it to be played again, and therefore they're playing essentially 2 games in one day, or that's also known as a double play. So there you go, guys. Double play, and I hope that helps.